Good morning, everyone. It's Laura with Coxburg Creations. Typically, you would come here to see yard sales and auctions and storage units clean outs and what I sell on Poshmark or eBay or things like that. And I've been hinting around for a little while about another project that I have in the works, and it's been a battle. It didn't play out like I wanted it to or like I had hoped. But we're still going and we're struggling along, and I'm going to show you the reality of starting a new business, and what you had planned in your mind doesn't always come to fruition. So I'm just going to try to be as real as possible, where a lot of people just want to show you how amazing things are and how great they're doing. And I just kind of want to be real and honest with you. So I started thinking sometime after Christmas about retirement plans and how much longer I want to work at my full-time job that I absolutely love. And the people I work with, I love. I'm just thinking about the rest of the years of my life and how I want to enjoy them. And most of you know that we have a daughter with cerebral palsy. She's just ready for us to be home every day. She feels too old to be going to a sitter. And I do let her stay at home some, and I come in and check on her throughout the day. So I'm just trying to think about what our future looks like. And honestly, when you retire from one job, you always need some residual income. Your retirement check and your paycheck never look the same. I've always heard people say you need to treat your life and your income like a table, like your dining room table. Your dining room table has 4 legs. That's how many streams of income you need. So if one leg is knocked out from up under you, you're still standing, you're still surviving. So I started thinking back in January that I wanted to open a U-pick farm. We did really well with the pumpkins last year, so I wanted to continue that, but I wanted to have an add-on. So I decided to do flowers, a U-pick flower farm. We had already planted strawberries, but I knew I wasn't going to be ready for them to be a U-pick, and the strawberries have been a struggle, and I'll share that. I've shared with you my tulips that I grew that didn't grow. And then we have a little vegetable garden here for ourselves. So let me just kind of give you a tour of what's going on out here now and what the plans are and my failures, honestly, because there have been plenty. Now, you've seen the strawberries and the weeds. Honestly, it wasn't just grass and stickers got us. But you can see where I've been killing things and weeding and stuff like that. And the strawberry plants are looking good for the most part, and we have pulled some strawberries, but I just can't get them to produce a lot at one time. And it's like, I don't even know, May 23rd maybe. And these are called June bearing strawberries. So I know the strawberries don't necessarily know when it's June, but I'm hoping that they will start really popping before too long. I'm going to try to get the rest of these rows cleaned out today, and if the wind dies down, maybe spray a little bit of this grass too. But we have pulled some strawberries that we've just eaten for ourselves, because like I said, we're not pulling more than 5 or 6 at a time, honestly. So this is reality. This is what a lot of people won't show you. They won't show you their weeds and their grass and how it has totally gotten out of control. So I mean, they won't show you how some of their rows got stopped up and held water. Just a lot. This is an apple tree. Yes, our weed eater is down. It's, y'all, I promise you, it is something all the time. So this is an apple tree. I know it will take several years before it produces anything. And way down here in the grass, you see we're spraying under the electric fence. I've got to come pull all of this. There is a blueberry bush in there somewhere. I think it's still there. This one is actually looking a little better. And again, I understand that it's going to take a while before any of this produces anything. So, and this is a peach. And honestly, I think the peach is producing more at the base than it is off of the actual tree. I've got one good branch coming off of the original, but then I've got shooters and stuff coming up from down here. So I don't know whether to dig those up and try to move those later. Who knows? That's my softball tree. That's what I call it. We got it off of a softball field one year when Morgan was playing. And so here's just my garden. I planted what I call cool weather stuff, and I'm still harvesting it. We've got a nice crop of carrots here. They will probably stay in the ground until we get ready to put pumpkins in. It takes carrots a long time, and they like their space, and I probably should have thinned some of these a little bit, but we will probably start putting pumpkins in the ground end of June, so I'm going to give these probably another month. I've got 2 rows of spinach, and that poor guy, it's starting to get a little hot for the spinach. I need to start pulling it more often because I've got some yellowing. This is a pumpkin that just came up all on its own. I guess the seed was just in the ground. Then we've got lettuce. And I usually come out here and till up and just kind of keep the ground fresh. And y'all, I promise you, it is a full-time job. There is no way, I'm not going to say there's no way, but it's almost impossible to work and come home and get stuff done that you need to get done every day. But the lettuce is looking good. I've pulled a lot that we've just eaten on our own. This is some curly leaf back here, and it looks really good. I don't have as much curly as I did the other, but it's looking really good. And this is the bane of my existence. It's pigweed. It's absolutely everywhere. It is a constant battle, and it has thorns. And then we've got broccoli, and broccoli. And it's just now really starting to head up in some spaces. Let's see if I can find one. No, I just saw some yesterday. Well, it's just now starting to head up. And then we have 3 rows of pigweed and something else. And up amongst all of that, there are some jalapeno plants and some pepper plants. And I'm slowly working on trying to find them all, locate them all. I'm not trying to come through here with the tiller right now. I've just been hand pulling because they're camouflaged, they're mixed in. Then we've got some tomato plants down here in cages. It's probably about time to start pushing some more legs inside the cages. And then over here on the cow panels, we've got cucumbers. These are just going to be regular eating cucumbers, and the ones that are just starting to come up over here are going to be mini cucumbers. So they'll just grow on up these panels. So this is basically, I've already pulled 2 rows of radishes. I had Easter egg radishes and watermelon radishes, and they were awesome. And I sold quite a few of those also. So this is just really, I guess, our garden, and whatever we have too much of, you know, I'll attempt to sell. You're not going to get rich off of vegetables by any means unless you just have fields and fields planted. So, this is my first time to really do what I call the cool weather garden, as opposed to hot weather where you're looking at your peppers, tomatoes, okra, peas, squash, things like that. I don't have the space for that because it needs to stay in the ground longer, and I need this space for the pumpkins. So I also need the strawberry space for the pumpkins. And I'm in a debate. People say, you know, strawberries do better their second year. I'm kind of in a debate. Do I save my strawberry plants? Am I going to do strawberries again next year? Who knows? We'll see. All right, let's go look at some flowers. All right, these are zinnias. They're foolproof, literally. You could probably throw them on top of the ground and they would do whatever you wanted them to do. So I've got 2 rows in bloom. I've got a 3rd row on the back that I did succession planting. Even though these zinnias will produce for me all summer long, I wanted them to come on in different stages, and I'll probably be adding a whole nother bed maybe today, just because what I had in it was not producing well. Look at that little lime, kind of a lime and pink. Isn't it pretty? I just love coming out here and seeing the different colors and the different varieties. I'm super pleased with the way my zinnias are looking and their height. Now, don't get me wrong, they've got some grass down in there. I'm not even going to lie. But I've got a good walkway in between them. I try to keep those clean, and as I can, pull the grass from in between occasionally. But the height of the zinnias is helping kind of choke out that sunlight to those weeds. So that's a good thing. Here's another volunteer pumpkin growing inside the zinnias, outside of the field where it originally grew. Like, I don't know if it just got over here with the tractor, because of the tractor or something like that. I have no clue. So I do think I underestimated maybe how many zinnias I needed, even though this is a good 3 rows. You know, if you had 5 people out here picking, they could essentially wipe out these zinnias in one day. Now, I know they're going to continue growing, and the more you cut, the more they grow. But still, I think I probably could have used maybe 3 more rows, honestly. I think I could have done 2 beds of zinnias. All right, this is amaranth with grass. Amaranth with grass. So the lime color, green, and the purple or red that you're seeing is amaranth. Ideally, this is what you want amaranth to do, is to have this tall little flame, this plume. You don't really want to have holes in your leaves. This is reality. This is a beetle that will eat the holes in your amaranth leaves. It doesn't affect the plant. You're really wanting the amaranth for the flame, for the little plume. But it's just not pretty. And yeah, there's a lot of grass going on here. But I'm trying to keep my middles clean and my outside lane clean. And I'll get in and get these weeded. They're getting to be a great height. They're just, these holes are killing me. So I've got 2 rows of amaranth. The first row is doing better than the second row, and I know once I get in there and weed, they'll probably do even better. If I had to tell you today, would I grow this again? Maybe not. I don't know. It would be a beautiful filler had I known I had a beetle and could have treated it. But I mean, y'all, you see, they will absolutely eat up the whole leaf. So I don't know that I would do amaranth again. I don't know. We'll just see. And then there's just grass. This is citrus basil. It was citrus basil with a side of grass. And I got mad a couple of days ago because the stuff I planted here is not growing. I have planted here Rudbeckia and Echinacea twice already, and nothing. Now, I have read that the Echinacea, the coneflower, can take more than a year to produce. I don't have that kind of time or that kind of patience. So I got out here and started tilling up, and then I started finding these. And they're all in a row. And I don't know if this is my Rudbeckia or what this is, but I do believe it's something. So I am trying to leave it. And you can see the green patch right there as far as I made it on weeding and locating whatever that is that's coming up. But I was very frustrated that I had this whole field planted and just nothing produced. And this citrus basil, it smells amazing. But I'm hoping it'll get a little taller because you really kind of wanted it for filler in a vase, was my understanding. Again, I'm still new to this. This smells so good. I wish I could smell it. It smells great. So I'm still got to weed in between some of that citrus basil and try to get it on up. But I'm still trying to discover what that is over there and save it from the weeds. So when I tell y'all this is a labor of love and a learning process, like, it is for real. So you see, still got grass over there. Yeah, it's not just throw the seeds out there. And I did not decide to do this until, all right, these are marigolds. I realized I did not plant enough marigolds. And that is celosia behind it with weeds, celosia with weeds. But they are starting to get some height on them, and they're starting to flame up like they should. Yeah, I realized I did not plant enough marigolds, and some did not make. All the gnats out here are absolutely horrible, and they're biting gnats. They're awful. So marigolds with celosia, and I know you cannot tell it, but there's actually a third row back there where I've succession planted celosia, and it's starting to come up. So I haven't really run through there with the tiller, just because I don't want to interrupt what's growing. You can kind of see right there is a good little patch. So y'all, it's just lots of weeds. It is so much weed and grass. And you just want things to look pretty, and it is a struggle. You can't hardly see it, but there is something called, I think it's Asia basil in here. You can kind of see it up in the middle of that. I had that whole side of this field here was cress, was doing awesome. And I think a rabbit cleaned me out all in one night. So I've got some basil in here and a lot of grass. Like everywhere my cress was, grass has taken its place. I'm hoping that the cress will grow back But y'all, I mean, you know, the clock is ticking on this. Like, I'm feeling the pressure from other businesses, but I have to think they've been established for a couple of years now, and I know that most of them are opening, you know, probably next weekend for their U-picks. And I'm just not there. I'm not ready. I'm offering some U-picks on sunflowers and zinnias right now. But I just don't have the other stuff ready that I wanted to, that I hoped to. And it's very disheartening. Because you lay all this stuff out and you see it in your mind and you see how you want it to go, and then it just doesn't. It just doesn't go like you planned. There's a nice little crop of basil. But again, I had a great lush little area of cress. And y'all, I'm telling you, that rabbit, if I see him, he's got to be big as a dog, because he ate and he ate and he ate. I've got a small amount of yarrow here. I've got some more to put out. So a small amount of yarrow. And y'all, there were other things in this field, and they didn't come up. They just didn't come up. And this field is called Utter Failure. This is the field where I said, you know, I know the package says direct seed is not recommended, but this is Mississippi, and we're going to throw you in the ground and see what happens. And you know, when you want to tell your husband, well, if you'd have done it the way I told you to, well, that's what the package is saying to me. If you'd have done it the way we told you to and started it in seed trays, you probably would have something. But I direct seeded, I think 3 different things. And y'all, it's been sitting since, I don't know, sometime in April. And I just got mad and I said, we're retilling it. So I've got to still come back through here. And this may become an zinnia bed. It's just nothing produced. And that's my fault. That's my fault for not following directions, you know. Anyway. I know you can't see it, but this is supposed to be the wildflower field. I do have some cosmos coming up. I've got some zinnias coming up out here. I've got some sunflowers coming up out here, and a lot of grass. And I don't know what else is supposed to be in this mix. It's supposed to be some other stuff, but I'm not sure what. So I'm hoping this stuff will get on up above the height of the grass so you can actually tell that this is supposed to be something. This is an area, you can see the dark green patch back there. This is an area that does hold some water, but mainly in that patch, and we're trying to do our best to get it to drain well, and it just takes a little time. But you can see there are some things coming up out here. I kind of just wanted this for maybe picture opportunity, but I don't know if it's going to be as thick as I had hoped for picture opportunities. So anyway, all right, let's go look at some watermelons. This is the watermelon and cantaloupe field, and right after we planted it, we had an absolute flood. So you can see we're still holding water here, and probably all of my seed is down there. Now, I do have some watermelon in that, right on the edge of that grassy patch that I had planted earlier, and they're doing okay. I just need to clean up around them. That's kind of the story of my life. Need to clean up. But let's see. We do have, there are definitely some starting to pop up, but it's too hard really to show you. But you can see here, we've got a nice little run of, I'm pretty sure this is going to be cantaloupe. I don't know, it may be a row of watermelon. I don't really remember. But that's a nice little run on this one coming up. And the rest are sporadic, but they're starting. So, my plan is that once I harvest watermelon and cantaloupe out of here, I'm going to do Indian corn in here for to sell with the pumpkins, like for decorations. And then these are my sunflowers. So we've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-ish rows here. I've got 2 more rows coming up here and 2 more rows planted. So I did a kind of a succession on these as well, because these are pro-cut sunflowers. 1 seed gives you 1 stem, and that is it. When you're ready to cut it, you might as well cut it to the ground, because it is not going to produce anything else. So when I came out earlier in the week, I was a little I guess frustrated, because I'm not ready to open, yet all of my sunflowers are blooming. My sunflowers and my zinnias are taking off and doing amazing, but nothing else is ready. And I don't want to lose them, so I'm trying to be strategic and maybe sell some sunflower bouquets, things like that. But the first 2 rows are lemon, and then maybe the first 3 rows are lemon. And then these are peach. No, lemon, 1 row of peach. And then these are orange. And then these, I know this row is white. See that? I'm super pleased with them. I think they look great. I don't think they'll get as tall as a regular sunflower would, and it's because they are designed for vase life. But those right there are getting pretty tall. But I hate to see these go to waste, so I really wish I could get some people to come out and pick sunflowers and zinnias while they're doing so well. Yeah, it's kind of disheartening. But anyway, so y'all, I mean, this is just the reality of my experience with starting a U-pick farm. We had a great year with pumpkins last year. We didn't offer a U-pick, we just sold them outright. And we'll continue to do that. But if some people want to come out and pick, you know, they can. But my goal was to really have this great U-pick farm where people came out and they were happy and they picked flowers and made bouquets and took them home and put them in vases. And I don't know, y'all, it's just, it's the trials and errors of starting a business, I guess. You're going to have ups and downs. You're going to have successes and you're going to have failures. And I've had plenty of failures. And weed and grass is a huge thing. I know a lot of people lay plastic and do their holes in their plastic and plant their plants. But again, I kind of didn't decide this until later. So I hadn't started anything in seed trays, so I had to go with direct seed for this year. So, you know, it's things to consider about starting in trays next year, having actual plants to put in the ground. That way it's easier to deal with the plastic. It's just almost impossible to plant seed in plastic. You would have to have a million tiny holes, you know. So anyway, this is just the beginning. So y'all stay tuned. We'll see what happens. I've sold 1 sunflower bouquet. I've got an order for another sunflower bouquet, but I haven't had anybody come out and want to pick. And y'all, I mean, it's the end of May, but I mean, some days it feels like August. It is just steamy some afternoons. And the mosquitoes already are just horrific. But we're going to keep trudging along. We're going to keep battling. And one day maybe this will be a huge success and it can be another leg in my table and I can retire and come home and work it full time. So stay tuned and we'll see what happens.